Alright guys, so Ben back here with CodeCareer. Just going to move on to the next portion of this. So loading up the H2. Okay, and this is one that we've already completed. So just as a nice quick review of how to complete it, let's go ahead and put in that H2, and we'll put in that necessary text of cat photo app, and go on to the next one. Cool. Alright, so this is where we really want it to be. So this time we're going to add a paragraph element. P for short, or a paragraph. As you can see here, they provide a sample of the P element. So what they want us to do is put a paragraph below our second header here, and we want to give it the text hello paragraph. And it's saying, as a convention in HTML, make sure to write all of your tags in lowercase as opposed to uppercase. And the tests that we're going to need to pass, you should have a valid P element. So let's go ahead and craft that first. Just doing things step by step like we spoke about last time. So we have a valid P element. Let's run the test on that. As you can see, that does pass, and your P element needs to have a closing tag. Well, we did that, so both of those are taken care of. Now all we need to do is put in hello paragraph right into our paragraph tags. So let's complete the element to their satisfaction, run tests, and boom, we're already 11% done with this. Not bad, right? Cooking on this. Okay, so let's move on to the next one here. Fill in the blank with placeholder text. So looks like all that they want us to do here is take the text inside the P element and enter in this essentially dummy text. So as you can see, it says your P element should contain the first few words of the text provided. Kitty, ipsum older, we'll say. So let's go ahead and paste that in, run all of our tests, and we're good to go. All right, so as you can see, there's kind of a reoccurring theme here. We have our header tags, as we had discussed in the previous videos. H1 is the largest, H2 second largest by default, and then it goes down to H6 typically. As I mentioned, you can style those additionally with CSS, but for now we're just sticking with HTML. We've also learned how to input a small amount of text into a paragraph, but also a paragraph's worth of text within a paragraph. So in this one, we're going to be speaking about adding comments to our code. So why would we want to use comments in the first place? Well, definitely helpful to navigate code from time to time. So as we see, if you want to start a comment, you would have to use, whoops, let me go back on that, would have to use this syntax. And just like with the elements that we are doing here with the H2 tag opening, H2 tag closing, we're just going to open our comment as such and close our comment as such. Now, we can have this be a multi-line comment like it is presently, or we could have it be, say, just a single line comment like this. Both are still valid. As long as you have your opening and closing, you're good to go. So I'm going to press Control Z and go back on this just to redo this. And let's go ahead and follow through this prompt to get a general idea of what they're looking for. And as I mentioned with code comments, eventually you might get to the point where you're, say, creating a navigation bar for a website. So you would want to do something like start nav. And just kind of leave yourself comments throughout your code. Then you could put in some code. We'll just put dots to kind of symbolize our code. And then we could even say end nav. That sort of thing would help us determine, oh, okay, between this line and this line, this is where I have this type of code that does this sort of action. So take it from that sort of abstract and we could apply it to this principle. Let's say, for example, we made a code comment to start our header. Whoops. And again, let me correct my spelling there. And then we could end our header. And for this, what we're going to do is just pull out this code out of our comment. And remove that entirely. Now, if you see, we actually have a comment within the code that tells us what this code represents, where it starts and where it stops, but neither one of these comments are visible when we actually display to the web browser. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So as I mentioned, we have our opening and closing for comments. What they want us to do is then uncomment everything and run the test. So we already did that. We're ahead of that. We're that good. We're on a coding spree. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next portion of this. All right, so this one we want to comment out some HTML. So again, they're just providing us a reminder to open and close our comments as needed. And here, it looks like we're going to need to end the comment before our H2 ends. Or excuse me, before it begins. So essentially what they're wanting us to do, if I'm understanding this correctly, is just to comment out the H1. Okay, so they're saying H1 should be commented out. That's true. H2 element should not be commented out so that it is visible. All right, well, it is visible. P should not be commented out, or excuse me, should be commented out so that it is not visible. Okay. So let's make this a little bit easier then. Just going to copy and paste that, and we'll copy and paste that. And you should not change the order of any one of these elements. Okay, so they want us to comment out H1 and P, leave H2 uncommented. Let's see if we did it. Ha, we did it. Of course we did. We're great. All right, and moving on to delete HTML elements. So this one looks pretty simple. All they want us to do is remove the H1, the H2 should be on the page, and the P tag should be on the page, or excuse me, the P element should be on the page as well. So removed as required, and look at that. It removes from our DOM, removes from our code. Again, we could technically comment this out, but they did want us to actually just fully remove it. So let's go ahead and pause there. In the next series of videos, we're going to dive a little bit further into HTML5 elements. Well, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.